You're welcome. It's time for the dailies now. Let's let you know what headlines you'll be meeting when you pick up a copy of the papers. With me here today, I have, of course, Titi. Thank you very much for joining.
Oh, you are
Good
so
to
welcome.
have you.
Quite
All
a
right.
lot of interesting headlines.
Very interesting headlines this morning. I'll be starting from the Punch newspaper. Big one here. Banking consolidation. Mega banks boast 10 trillion naira capital base. Others seek fresh investors. Wema Bank, Fidelity, others set for rights issues. Over 8 national regional banks may require new capital. CBN may give leaders 12 to 24 months timeline for capital raising. A central bank urged to engage banks' stakeholders. At the top for the Punch.
That was lenders, actually. Lenders.
Oh,
CBN
thank
may
you very
give
much.
lenders, yeah.
Thank you for catching that. Could you help me continue?
It says here 12 to 24-month timeline for capital raising. Central bank urged to engage banks and stakeholders.
Thank you.
Top left, governorship bid. Hotel cancels Obaseki deputies' venue booking. It says here companies raise salaries by 4.6 trillion naira in 6 months, according to NBS. Now, lecturers' shortage hits varsities. ASU blames JAPA IPPIS.
Wow.
Now, the Ajose Adeogun Road is well known in Lagos for being heavily decorated.
Cultural site at this point.
Yes, it's a tourist attraction, actually, and it's put together by Zenith Bank, and they put the lights on over the weekend with a carnival, so that whole area wasn't really. It was one of those places where people, because of traffic, people were trying to avoid that area on Saturday, apparently. But it is a nice sight to see. Over Christmas, families sometimes go there and take pictures. It's really fun.
It's always very beautiful in December, I must admit that for
Yeah.
sure. Something you touched on, lecturers' shortage, Jacques syndrome. What did you expect? I mean, hey, the fact is that if you are actually in the academics, it's easier for you to make these immigration decisions very, very easy. So you'd expect that for especially that industry, yes, that would happen. And if it's something that government hasn't considered in how lecturers are being treated, this is something that they really have to start considering right now, because that is the easiest route to actually immigrate.
And it's so interesting because Ivy League schools, even abroad, are looking for African teachers.
Do you know how intelligent African teachers are?
Extremely,
You know?
and they are also very vast in many different fields.
Very true.
So yes, it's understandable if they find greener pastures.
Yeah.
We have.
Oh, you want to go? Or
The Nation, yes, we have
all
The
right, go ahead.
Nation here. It says here on the cover of The Nation, CBN revises measures to cut food and energy inflation. Top left, it says $134 million AFDB loan will boost dry season farming and food security. Federal government woos foreign investors with 100% FX repatriation. Adeleke's absence on anniversary day raises dust in Oshun. NDLEA swoops on drug party, arrests organizers in Oshogbo. It also says here, right at the bottom, United Nigeria Airlines explains diversion of Lagos Abuja plane to Asaba.
And I think it was an instance of the pilot being given a, I don't know what's called, wrong navigation or something like that.
No, I actually believe the pilot probably just made that decision. But if it was, obviously investigation is ongoing and there are questions being asked. If you're given wrong navigation, it is possible. As long as the passengers were all safe, nobody was hurt or harmed, I think that is... So even if I'm on a flight and then the pilot discovers, something's wrong...
Yeah, he'll have to reroute.
He will probably reroute, yes, but then it would have been alarming if the people on the plane had been given that information.
That's classic Titi giving excuses.
They landed.
Isn't it?
No, I'm just trying to imagine. If you told me that and I had, let's say, a wedding or a connecting flight.
We don't know. So let's wait for the investigation report and then we'll... Yeah, but
you understand where I'm going.
Advocacy, I understand
in
you.
In the
but
flight, I can imagine being a flight attendant on that
I get
flight.
you, but the passengers have rights as well.
Yeah, sure.
And especially if you're redirecting them, you must tell them. But the plane landed, and it was announced that welcome to Abuja. So there was definitely some miscommunication somewhere. Something that actually was very
It's the
interesting.
flight
is
attendants that do the announcements.
the federal government wooing foreign investors with 100% FX repatriation sounds very good. Yes, it is from the nation. I'm still talking about the nation now. Sounds great. Now, foreigners might want to come in and do business, but at what cost to us? I understand that 100% FX repatriation is great for them, but at what injury to us? Are we going to be making money still or income still as a government or as a country when we have these foreign investments? So there's a lot I would love to touch on that one. Perhaps maybe there is a reiteration here somewhere in the Guardian. Banks brace for new monetary policy conduct, and regulation. And of course, the Guardian's got a very big chart there for U.S. Cardoso returns CBN to traditional monetary policy regime. Talks about the stability of the Naira and more there on that chart. More headlines from the Guardian. Gubernatorial aftershocks, Kogi queries Monarch as APC gives Kano AG ultimatum. NBS, imperative of creating stronger, vibrant data system. And coup scare. Sierra Leone declares curfew as ECOWAS condemns plot, and women lawyers canvass castration of rapists. SOAP urges World Bank to suspend loans to states and the judiciary, and Justice Datijo Mohammed's concern. Find that one on page 12. What do you think about the women lawyers canvassing for castration of rapists?
So that conversation has
worldwide,
worldwide for over 3 years now. There's been a back and forth about that. There are the issues of actually confirming the guilt of these rapists, alleged rapists at the time, accused rapists. But the truth is, the women speaking up have been through a lot, and they've pushed it because of the amount of trauma that these women have been through. So if you know anyone who has been through anything like that, you will understand the grouse, you understand the anger, you will understand the reason for them going this far as to canvass it now. But
the argument, however, is that this is taking humanity backwards to when you actually steal a loaf of bread and get your hand cut off. There's no difference. And it's a bit inhumane, the argument is. My position on it is very, very different, however.
So, as long as there are some people that would even say it should have been taken further. The person shouldn't be allowed to live, especially in cases of when it is underage victims, child victims.
Just prove the guilt. That's all I say before you do any harm that cannot be, that's irreparable. Well, thank you very much, Titi, for joining me for the papers, as usual. We had a hint of what's happening inside of the kitchen only just moments ago. So let's find out exactly what's happening in there. Winfrey, what are we having for breakfast this morning? Can you introduce us to our chef?
We're having some